everyone, it's Missy. So it's 9 weeks before average day to last frost and our garden is moving right along. This week you can start your eggplant, and then I also started my sweet and hot peppers, and these were just the seeds that I used. So I grow some jalapenos and then some sweet bell peppers. And then I also start off my herbs in my peat pots, and that is like parsley, fennel, savory. Think of all those nice leafy herbs. Peat pots just for easier transplanting into the garden. So this is where we start actually sowing herbs indoors to transplant outdoors. Another thing that they want you to do is prepare a rain barrel, because obviously we're now into the middle of spring where we should have the rainy season. Now in my area I still have quite a bit of cold temperatures, so my rain barrel would freeze if I set it up right now, but you may be living in a warmer area. Another thing they want you to think about is crop rotation. And they do give a good diagram of crop rotation in this book. So when you're planning your garden, think of 1 year to the next, how you're going to move your crops around, not only to help with pest control, but also to help with the nutrient content in your garden. So for instance, I grow my sweet corn where I had my peas and beans last, because the peas and beans bring nitrogen into the soil, which is what grass really likes to feed off of. So that's what you think about is the different types of crops and how they fit into their categories. And this is basically the same thing that we use when we do grain farming. We're always putting our field corn on where we've planted soybeans in the previous year. So we're just bringing this down to a home gardener's level. Now this is a really good chart, like I said, but I actually prefer this book as my reference over here. This is the 4-Season Farm Gardener's Cookbook. And this is by far the best pictorial diagram that I have seen. Where they take the sweet corn, they're putting it where the peas are the next year. The peas go to where the cucumbers and zucchini and artichokes were, and then of course that moves over to where all your tomatoes were, and the tomatoes move over to where the sweet corn was. So they give you 4-year crop rotation, and this is for tall crops. So I like how this book takes, and because you always have your tall crops in the back of the garden so they don't shade everything, and this is like a really good way of breaking it up. And then of course they go on to their shorter crops, which is your broccoli, kale, collards, chard, onions, leeks, garlic, beets, carrots, and potatoes, and how you're supposed to rotate those. And then if you keep going in the book, they have their small bed gardening, because obviously we're not all having this huge garden. So if you just plant a few things like peppers, beans, spinach or lettuce, and celery, for instance, this is how you can start an easy garden and do the crop rotation for 4 years. Or even if you really want to go basic, and I recommend this as a start for everyone, is you can do a mini rotation within a growing season. So here they have their spring, summer, fall, and basically they're taking spinach and lettuce and Asian greens and they're rotating them throughout the growing season when you replant to have a continuous garden throughout that season of greens. And I just really like how this book can really make it as complex or as simple as needed for any gardener. And then also, I've mentioned this before, it's also a cookbook, so you can also get nice recipes. I've actually used a few recipes in here and they were really tasty. To know what to do with all that garden produce when you harvest it. So that is basically the week in review. Again, making sure that you're maintaining your garden equipment and tools. We're going to be going out into the garden real soon. Actually, we don't have too much snow on the ground, so next week I'm hoping to get outside. We're supposed to have warmer temperatures, and if you have any questions, you can leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.